you do a lot of mindless scrolling, and not even just on social media. Like you do a lot of mindless stuff just in life in general, like watching a TV show for the sake of it, playing a video game for the sake of it. And that's not to say that any of those things are bad, but if you're not doing it in, I can't think of the word, but if you're not doing it responsibly, I guess, like people always say, I always look at successful people and they say like everyone's got the same 24 hours, it's like what you do with it. And fundamentally it's because like, I spend a lot of time playing FIFA. Like I'm never going to be able to, pursue more things that I'm passionate about if I'm always messing about, mindlessly doing tasks, just for the sake of doing it and not being, I guess disciplined with how I manage my time. So I guess, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And I think writing, as you said, like in terms of creativity, it's a very good thing to do, just to stay creative, to stay, I guess involved in what you're actually actively passionate about. But then I would not necessarily challenge you, but I want to ask like, how has that changed, in lockdown where you've had like way more, well, I imagine you've had more time to fill, more hours to fill. Like how have you adapted your process there?
How have I adapted my process? Interesting one. I'd say the main thing is that the main thing that's really increased during lockdown has been my reading. That's a good thing. Because I'm part of this book club. I'm part of this book club, which is aimed at like getting more young boys into reading. My brother's keeper, and as one of the session leads for that, a lot of the time it involves me doing a lot of reading just to design the session plans. So, if it was a case where I was working, there's no chance. Well, it would have been very difficult to go through the amount of books I had to go through to design the lesson plans for this coming year. But because I had a lot more time on my hands, I was going through books in like a week or even less time, and it was a case where on one side it was like, yes, I was doing work for the organization, but on the other side it was a case where I was enjoying reading books. And in a way it was really encouraging me to be an engaging reader, because it's one thing to read and there's one thing to read and enjoy the story, which of course is great in itself, but it's a whole another thing to be able to read, process a story, then turn that into a lesson plan to teach to young people. You probably may not even be reading some of the books that you're going to be suggesting to them in their everyday experiences outside of an English literature class.
That's very true, yeah. Because like, I guess once you have a purpose or reason to do something, you start doing things that you have no reason to do before. That kind of makes sense. Like you're never going to stumble across this book without having to, having to prepare it for the lesson plan. That's pretty cool. That makes a lot of sense, to be fair. How did you find, you said what, My Brother's Keeper?
Yeah.
Is it something you just stumbled across and got heavily involved in, or?
Yeah. Yeah, like, to be fair, perks of social media, that's how I found the Instagram page. Like, a mutual friend follows one of the founders, so I must have found them. I found their page. Then this is during the time I would say I was looking to add more layers to my work-life balance. So I messaged them messaged them around New Year's Eve time. I said, hey, super interested. They saw my page, back then used to post quite a few books, and they were like, yeah, get involved. And then it was a case where legit just started easing myself in, observing how they structure the sessions. And it was a case where like gradually I got more involved and started looking to suggest books, start designing lesson plans, attending meetings, and it was just pretty much a snowball effect. And I've been taking it in my stride, to be honest. It's just been a case of like working on being useful and looking to match my interests, my hobbies with my passions. Has been a key thing in terms of my work in the organization.